Hello friends, welcome to Shagran's channel. Today our topic is about constraints in SQL. Those are 6 types of constraints are present mainly. Those are the first one not null, second one unique, third one primary key, fourth one foreign key, fifth one check, and lastly default. Friends, today our topic is about constraints. So we can discuss one by one. First one is not null. Ensures a column cannot have any null values. We can see the code now. This is the syntax for not null constraints for creating a table. Here create table employees, employee ID int not null is mentioned, and the employee name VARCHAR is employee. Is also not null is mentioned. After that we can run this table. After we can run that, here we can see the data inside that. Select star from here we can see no data is present in the table. After that we can insert the value. You can see this is the syntax for inserting the data. I'm inserting the employee name only, not employee ID. If you can miss the any column name, you can insert like this, because another one is automatically take null. That's why it's you can run. It shows the error. Employee ID does not have a default value. In this mean you cannot insert like this. You cannot insert. You must have insert the employee ID also. Employee ID, comma. Here you can give the one. It can take the value. Here you can see it's take the value. Here you can run. It shows the table with the values. This is the not null constraints, friends. Then we can go to the next one. Unique ensures all values are different, which means the unique values only takes, but it takes the null values also. Friends, now can create the table and insert the values for this. Here we can create the table. Create table users name and email. Email ID we can give. Here email is the unique one. Let's run this. Table can be created successfully. We can insert the user values. We can select this and run. Friends, we can select this and run this. Table is created successfully. After that we can insert the another row also. Is this time we can don't give the Gmail ID. We can give only name. Now here we can give the name only with the value Ravi. We can select this and run. It will also selected successfully. But if I give the same one, if I give the same line, copy paste, I can change the name, but I can give the same email ID. If I can run, it cannot be insert because it's a duplicate entry. Raj email ID. That's why it cannot be taken. The next third one, primary key. Primary key is unique identify each row and combines not null and primary key. It is the unique column in the table and it does not have the not null functions. We can create the table for the primary key. Now this is the primary key table. If we can create this table, it's created successfully. We can now insert the values into this table. Okay, we can insert the data. We can insert like this, it can be taken. If I don't insert the student ID, it cannot be taken. If you can see student ID, I can remove here, and here I can remove the student ID, and here I can change the name. Here see, I can select this and run. Here you can see field data does not contain default value. Because of that we will definitely mention the student ID. Now we can mention null values. We can see the null values. Here I can give the 1 and here I can say Ravi. It cannot be taken because of that duplicate entry. Already student ID 1 is present, that's why it cannot be taken. That is primary key. Now we can see the foreign key. It maintains the relationship between the two tables. If a table 1 has primary key is the table 2 foreign key. For the foreign key we can create the two tables. First one is departments 1. Here we can see department ID and department name. Here we can insert the values. And second one is we can take in the employees table. And first one here we can see the columns employee ID, employee name, salary, department ID. Here we can take the department ID reference from department table 1. Here department ID we can take the reference. We can insert the values here. You can see we can insert these values. Here we can create the table first. We can select this and run. Table created successfully. After that we can insert these values. Inserted successfully. Then we can insert this. It's not be taken because of that. Here 105 department ID is not present. Here you can see this 105 department ID is not present. That's why it cannot be taken. If you can insert this value also, here you can see 6th Chandu 48,104 department ID. Here we can insert those values. 6 cannot be added because of foreign key constraints fails. Because of that you cannot insert those values. You can see what are the columns and rows are present. Those are the columns and their values. Now we can see the check. constraints. It applies the conditions on values which we can insert into the table. We can see how we can check the values from the inserting data of a column. Now here you can see we can create a products table. Price int check price is greater than 0. We can select this and create the table. After that we can insert the data. Here you can see the different data we can insert. First one is value 100, products value. It's inserted successfully. After that we can insert the minus 50 value. It cannot be inserted because of check constraints cannot be passed. Next we can see the default. Assign a default value if none is given. If you don't give any value to the column, it can take the default value. Now we can see the code for this. Here you can see the code for creating table. Here we can create the orders one table. Status we can create this. Default status is pending. We can create this successfully table created. Now insert the values. Insert data for orders values. We can select this and run inserted successfully. Now we can select this and run inserted successfully. We can see the results of this table. Select star from orders 1. We can see the results of this table. Here you can see the first one is completed, second one is pending. It's the default value pending is inserted here. Here I can say the one important thing. Here orders 1 is in capital letter. Here order 1 is a small letter. Here in SQL we don't have the case sensitive. Because of that we can give the smaller or capital alphabets. Friends, if you are enjoying my videos, please like, share, subscribe to Shekhar and channel.